Cool's in the house, y'all. I got a special guest today, y'all. Let's come on in here. Sorry about that, Cool.
Oh, you're
But
fine.
first time I'm doing this, I'm a little excited about it. Y'all
I
come
know
on in
it.
here, man. Let's come on in here. Cool, what you want to talk about today?
So let's talk about, you know what? We've been seeing a lot of I've been working a lot too. I see a lot of people with stress, with emotions, and their anger getting in the way. And I noticed, like, you know how right now what just happened with Iran and with all the bombing, all the wars.
Right.
We're uh we're at the point where even if it's not over here, we're dealing with the stress to the point where there's times that we're going through issues, but we say we wanted to let it go, but it tends to continue to follow us. And
I
at that point, you're kind of like, we don't really know what to do. And there's some folks who they let it go and then move on in life, and there's some people who hold on to it, and we see the people who are happy and nice and they're going on with their life, and we're struggling,
yeah,
and we ask ourselves, why can't we move on as well?
I agree with that, man. There's a lot of that going on, man. A lot of people we living in something right now, Cool. It's called spiritual warfare, man. A lot of spiritual warfare going on. A lot of people, man, are they stressed out because of the economy. A lot of people don't know how to look past that. A lot of people they worry a lot, but instead of just giving it to God, a lot of people worry. And I'm guilty of this. It's been times. Y'all come on in the chat, y'all. We got my friend Koo in today, my guest. Y'all come on in. Just trying to talk to them in between a little bit. Yeah, but Koo, that's a big problem, man. I can tell you myself, man. I've witnessed this before, where I sometimes I pray about a situation, and then I'll start back reminiscing on it again. That's not good either. Once we give something to God, we got to learn to let Him. We got to give it to Him and let it be that. A lot of times we don't do that.
Yeah, the sad part is that I just recently got done talking to a friend of mine, and he met somebody, and she told him that they were divorced. Her and her ex-husband were divorced, and he finds out that they're still together and they're just living apart. And he can't. I talk to him every single once a week, and he told me that it's a struggle right now. And I asked him, like, when we're struggling, we can ask people for advice, but honestly, we just want to share it with somebody. But when they give us tips and advice that we should be taking, how often do we take those advice that are gonna help us out?
Right. So yeah, I mean, a lot of people, man, they have something called a prideful spirit. Y'all get on in here, y'all. Let's get on in here and join the comment section, y'all. A lot of people, cool, they have a prideful spirit, man. A lot of people, they have pride. They don't want to ask because they make them feel weaker than what they are. But I disagree with that, man. We all, from time to time, man, we need a little help. You know what I'm saying? We all, even the people who look like they really got it, deep down inside, man, they at some point, man, we all need a little help, man. They got to get out of that prideful spirit that they have. They got a prideful spirit. You know, we all
Yeah.
have it.
Oh yeah.
Somebody you'll see some crazy stuff sometime here in the comment section sometime, man. I don't know if you see that down there. I'm just going. What's up, soldier? How you doing? I want to welcome y'all. Welcome my guest in here today. Cool, good friend of mine, y'all. Good guy. Real good guy here. Let's
So
welcome him.
just yeah. But just to give you guys a heads up, the way me and Larry met was we used to work together. We worked together for a year and a half.
Oh yeah.
And the amazing part is Larry was the first guy who ever talked to me, and out of everybody there, and I was there for about maybe 9 months already.
Yeah, see, and that's who I am, man. And that's the type of person I am, man. Cool is a good guy. I see nobody would really talk to him, and I said, I said, Cool's a good guy. I don't know why about not talking to this guy. Cool is a good guy, y'all. Real good friend. Anybody that I have in my circle, or anybody that he has in his circle, that means they're good people. We're the type of people we don't just intertwine with anybody. Cool's a good guy.
Oh yeah,
Go ahead.
because like you want to have some positive vibes around you too, and you want to have friends who aren't always depressed or they or they're always in a negative mood because, like I say, it takes more energy to be upset than to be happy.
That's absolutely right. And then we have to be very careful too, Koo, uh, who we have. Well, we got to be very careful who we have in our circle because sometimes, like my mom used to tell me, Koo, you know, you are the company you keep. You know, if you hang around Tom, Joe, and Harry, that's exactly who you'll become. So if you're hanging around a bunch of nobodies, that's who you'll become. So believe it or not, we're judged on who we hang around, who we converse with. So Cool's telling the truth, y'all. Cool's saying some real facts on here.
And just to give you guys a heads up about our discussion today was so my background is when I was 13 years old, my appendix ruptured, and they told me there's a 3 out of 5 chance of me passing away during the surgery because my parents waited 5 days to take me to the hospital. And I was 13, and I asked my parents, I'm like, you know what? We go to church, we talk about faith, and we talk about trusting in God, and we don't really trust in God until it happens in our family. And at that point, what's really faith and what's really trust?
That's
And I
right.
told my parents, I'm like, I'm 13 years old. I haven't really done too many bad things. Let's take a little opportunity and have a little faith in God and see what happens. And after 10 hours of surgery, I made it. And
That's right.
I thought about that. I thought about the life part like that. I'm like, you know what? I have a good life, and you know, I went through a lot of stress. I grew up in an abusive household. My father used to beat us, and I prayed for my parents to separate because I couldn't see that every single day and couldn't do anything because my mom wouldn't let me do anything to protect them. And at when I turned 19, my parents got divorced. I went to live with my mom, and my sister, and at in 2015, I found out I had heart failure, and at that point in my life, I had my degree in medicine, and they say when you have everything else you want in life, you shouldn't have anything else that you want to worry about. And at that point, I got upset with God. I was like, God, why am I having this heart problem? Why do I have to go this? And you kind of it stops you when you're thinking about when you have everything you ever wanted. Does it really fulfill what you really want? And it gets to the point where I told myself that, I told my friend, I'm like, dude, there's a bridge right over by your house. There's times I want to jump off the bridge because my life is a struggle. And he was like, man, I'm worried about you. And I was like, you know what? I'm worried about myself too. I
Right.
don't have that happiness I had when I was young. And I thought about it. I was like, well, I got four other siblings, my parents, and my nieces and nephews. And back then, I was like, I guess the reason I want to live is because I want to live for my family. And
Right.
then back then, it was for my family, but now, like growing closer to God and going back to church, I made peace with God. I'm like, God, if you want me to go home, I'm ready to go home. If not, you know what? I'm gonna continue to live and be a better me than I was yesterday.
There you go, man. See, a lot of times, Cool Man and YouTube family, a lot of times, like Cool was saying, a lot of times we have to be grateful for the little things. And I'm guilty of this. Sometimes I would sit around and complain and, I would be upset. Like Cool, a few weeks ago, man, I was upset because my YouTube channel was decreasing. So I was losing watch hours, I was losing views, and I was mad at God. I was punching boxes. And I'm like, God, it's okay from time to time to get upset with God, but when we constantly be rebellious towards God, He'll start taking the little things that we take for granted. He can take it away from us. So we have to just learn to be grateful for the small things. Like I can tell you right now, my childhood, man, it wasn't the best. Uh, I mean, I grew up in poverty where, we was padlocked out of the house, and my dad beat on my mom. I went through all of that, man, where we would have to use the bathroom in the bucket because we were padlocked. We couldn't leave no type of feces or nothing in the commode. We had to wash our clothes in the bathtub. But I said all that to say, uh, when I sometimes want to complain, I have to look at everything that I've been through. Because a lot of people, man, that would have made them commit suicide. It's funny you mentioned that, Cool, because I made a topic about that this morning. where I was kind of talking about there's a lot of people out there wanting to commit suicide. Like, I know life can be very challenging, but we got to learn. We got to always think there's always somebody else worse than us. So that's a good point you made there, Q. Good point, man. Good point.
Yeah, and they say that, like, for me, living as a Christian life, I know my past. I ask for forgiveness, but it's always gonna be there. But you know what? If it's always gonna be there, you have to look at it and then know that you've been through that already. And do you really want to go back and play with fire when you know fire's gonna burn?
Exactly. Exactly. And yeah, and see, like me, man, before I got married, and long before I met my wife, I had multiple women, multiple partners, unprotected sex. I mean, I could have caught all kind of diseases. It was bad, man. I was really playing with fire. And I was so young, I didn't even realize that God brought me through that. God brought me through that, man. Out here running the streets, chasing women, uh, being in the wrong places, going to house parties, I could have been shot up in the house party. So that's what I'm saying. A lot of times we just have to learn to be grateful for the little things. Because we're not grateful for that, like I said, God will snatch them away, man. So cool, you made a good message there, man. Keep going. They want to hear you talk there, brother. Keep going.
Oh yeah, it's like
My guess.
so on right now, my current job, I work with at least 40 people per night, and there's 40 different uh personalities I work with because they're not all the same. Because if they were all the same, then it'd be kind of chaotic too, and it would get kind of it get kind of boring. And I work with 40 people each night, and every single person, like, they see me, and I tell them that they see me on my computer working, doing fixing all the errors and the things. Like, for me, I will literally close my laptop and help them out when
Right.
I notice that it's on they can't handle it by themselves. Because, like, for me being a manager, and I've seen managers who just look at the computer screen, look at the numbers, and they complain whenever there's an issue. But if we don't physically help people out when possible, then I would say I got to tell my team I'll give it my position, just because if I can't help people out, what good am I? And someone's gonna end up humbling me in a way that I don't want to be. Because with great respect and responsibility,
That's
there's
right.
gonna be more to take in. But then, do we hold ourselves accountable when things go down and it's our fault?
That's right. That's right. Camry, what's going on? I'm gonna give a couple of these shout outs. What's up, Camry? Bammers, what's going on? Y'all welcome my guest in here today. Cool. Welcome him in. Welcome him in. I'm gonna let him do most of the talking today. He's my guest. But yeah, cool. You telling some true facts today, man. You telling some true facts. And we have to lead by example, man. Especially when you're in the management role. We definitely gotta lead by example, man. Because if you're not setting an example, how can we expect, how can you expect your colleagues and stuff to set the example? So I like what you're doing, man. Keep doing that. Cameron, what's going on? I'm making a house in Roblox. Okay, that's what's up. Sorry about that, crew. Try to get the shout outs in
You're good,
too.
man. Don't worry about it.
Keep going. You
Yeah, but
good?
it's always a good thing because we wake up every single day hoping for the best, and we never know what anyone else is going through. And we could get upset when someone's upset with you, but then, like, I know that reading the Bible and living my life, I know that everybody's going through struggles, and they may have a good day, they may have a bad day, but
Right.
we can't let that change our emotions on the way we treat others, just because someone's having isn't having a good day. And the
Exactly.
hardest part is walking away without saying anything back. Because if you work with them, you see them every single day. You can actually see their emotions.
Exactly. You're exactly right, man. And a lot of times we don't really know what people are going through. So a lot of times, cool, I'm like that too. If I see somebody, some days, you may see somebody, they may not speak back. Then I have to realize maybe they're having a bad day. But if it becomes a habit over time, then I can feel sometimes a demonic spirit on some time, y'all. That's what I want y'all to understand too today, YouTube family. Sometimes we got to give people what they give us over time. Now, if you're constantly speaking to somebody and they're not conversing back, then you have to let them know that they really don't want to be bothered. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes we got to look at that too. But I know you telling the truth today. Like I say, we know a lot of people are going through a lot of things, and we know it's not them at the end of the day, it's the spirit. Sometimes they carry them these demonic spirits on them. And sometimes they just need prayer. Sometimes they just need some prayer. So whenever y'all have people like that, you just gotta pray for them. And cool, ask the people some questions, man. Ask what do you want to ask the people? There's some people in here, man.
All
Talk to
right.
them.
So my question would be, you know, for me, I grew up as a non-Christian, and my mom took me to church. And after at age 21, I took off. I left church. At 25, I went back to church, and basically, I felt myself as that prodigal son that had about almost everything I ever wanted in life. But when everybody knew that I had the money and the funds, they knew to come to me. But they knew that I was always there to help them out, and we could we'll say that I would say that even a non-Christian and a Christian, they're all nice. They're all good people to be around with. But the thing is, when we say that we have a good days and bad days, do we let that our bad days the way we treat other people around us? And can we live knowing that we let our emotions change the way we talk to other people, knowing that it might have been a day that they're gonna end their life, and can we live with our choices if they do make someone decide to take their own life that same day just because you were having a bad day? Because we could say that they use a word whenever we do something wrong, like "oh, my bad," but what is everybody's response when they're saying that it's my choice? I had a bad day, so I could treat anyone terribly, and they have to live with it. Do we? Is that considered something that you can say, "Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that," but then I'm just not feeling that way today. I'm not too happy. But do you guys think that it will make us choose how we treat others just because we're not feeling well, or should we hold in our emotions whenever we get upset because the words that we say are the words that we really mean when it comes out our lips? So my question would be, do you think it's okay to treat people wrongly, and could you live with your emotions when you treat someone wrong just because you're having a bad day? Or should you just continue to, like they say, if you don't have anything good to say, then you're better off not saying anything at all? But that's my question to everybody.